Welcome back to Commodore's Kitchen, Vanderbilt's only cooking show where you'll find delicious recipes that are easy to make. To kick off our second season, Kendall and I are bringing you Game Day Bites. These are 2 biter foods that are fun to enjoy with your friends while you watch your favorite sports teams play. And since this is Commodore's Kitchen, we've even added a little local southern twist. Here's what's up first. Mini shrimp and guacamole tostadas. These 2 biters are full of different textures and flavors. A crunchy tortilla chip is topped with creamy guacamole and a tender chipotle marinated shrimp. And next, mini meatball sliders. Classic Italian flavors like Parmesan cheese are packed into these hearty sandwiches. The meatballs get topped with a tomato sauce that perfectly melts the mozzarella cheese. And for a southern twist, we're using biscuits instead of typical slider buns. And for a sweet finish, we have Elvis banana peanut butter cupcakes. Loads of freshly mashed bananas are the star of this dessert. We add mini chocolate chips and a velvety peanut butter frosting to make the king of rock and roll's favorite treat extra special. So stick around, it's game day. We're going to start with our mini shrimp and guacamole tostadas. Lightly coat a sauté pan with olive oil, about 2 tablespoons or so, and set on a medium-high heat. When the oil is hot, carefully add the shrimp. They cook fast. It takes just about 2 minutes on each side until it's just cooked through or lightly pink. And here's how you make the guacamole. What I have is 2 Hass avocados that I've already cubed, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a 3rd avocado. So you're going to start by slicing the avocado right around the pit. Just remove the pit. And what I'm going to do is score it. And this is an easy way to get those cubes. So kind of just make lines one way and then right across the other. Okay, just going to add this right into a bowl, and the easiest way to do that is just with a spoon. You can scoop right around and it comes right out. So now for all of our mix-ins. I'm starting with 1 medium tomato that I've already diced, 3 tablespoons of red onion, and you can add as much or as little of any of these ingredients as you would like. Also some fresh cilantro. I always like to add a little bit of fresh herbs whenever I can. Just give it a rough chop. All right, and right into our guacamole. Also, we're gonna add some acidity, and lemon and limes are super important in this dish, so I'm gonna add both. So half of a lemon, and then also half of a lime. And lastly, we always want to add some salt and pepper for some good seasoning. So just about a sprinkle of each. And if you want this extra spicy, you could add about 2 jalapeno peppers. Okay, so now I'm just going to mash my guacamole together and leave this as chunky or as creamy as you want, whatever you like. I think I'm going to go for like a medium chunk. Okay, so now we're ready to start layering our appetizer. I have these mini corn tortilla chips, and this is going to be the perfect base for our appetizers. I'm going to take 1 scoop of guacamole, just put it right on top. And then to this, we're going to add the shrimp that I showed you how to sauté earlier. Okay. And one last thing I like to do to make this ready to serve for your friends is I like to add what's in the dish on the plate. So I'm just going to add a few lime wedges. This makes it very appealing to the eye. And then also some fresh cilantro that we also have in it. Just sprinkle those right on top. You can add a few on the shrimp too. All right, this is ready for game day. Now we're going to make mini meatball sliders, and I'm going to start off with the base. First, we're going to add half of a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and this will make our meatballs nice and tender. And to that, we're going to use a 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, adding some good Italian flavors in here, 2 tablespoons of chopped white onion, and I actually bought this already chopped. It's a nice shortcut you can do. 1 egg. This is very important because it acts as the binder of our meatballs. And also we have a 1/4 of a cup of flat leaf Italian parsley that I've already also chopped. And just like the shrimp, it's always nice to add fresh herbs to whatever you're making. Okay, and also a pinch of salt and pepper. Always want to season it up. Okay, and before I add the meat, I'm just going to give this a quick mix. Okay, so for the meat, I actually have a half of a pound of pork and half of a pound of veal. You can use whatever combination you want. You could use turkey, chicken, you name it. And I'm actually going to use my hands because this will make it go quicker, and the faster you combine your meatballs, they will be less tough when you saute them. So the funny story about these meatballs actually is from this summer. My friend and I spent the summer in New York City, and we came across the meatball shop. And the meatball shop only serves meatballs. You pick your meatball, so chicken, pork, veal. You pick your sauce, spicy, mushroom, marinara, lots of different options. And you can make it however you want. You can use, you can put it over pasta, you can put it on a sandwich like we're doing. And the funniest part about it is that we found it completely by accident. As New York newbies, we got off on the wrong subway stop and we're really hungry, so we ended up at the meatball shop, and it ended up being just a great find. If you're ever in New York City, I totally suggest that you find the meatball shop. Okay, so now that our meatballs are all rolled out, I am going to wash my hands and show you how to saute them. With a saute pan on a medium-low heat, add 1 clove of garlic and 2 tablespoons of chopped onion. This will give our meatballs and the sauce lots of extra flavor, and saute it for about 1 to 2 minutes. Add the meatballs and brown on each side for about 2 more minutes. Once they are browned, cover them with the marinara sauce. I'm using a jarred sauce as a shortcut, but feel free to add your own if you have a homemade sauce on hand. Bring the sauce to a gentle boil and then simmer with a lid for about 20 minutes, or until the meatball is just cooked through. So now we're going to assemble our mini meatball sandwiches. I had them simmering for 20 minutes. Just gonna take the lid off. Looks so good. All right, so you want to work quickly actually so the cheese will melt. Just grab a meatball, put it right on the biscuit. Actually, we can probably fit 2 in here. And I'm using biscuits instead of typical slider buns because I thought that would be a nice southern twist. And we're gonna add a little triangle of mozzarella cheese. Just pop that right on there. Wow, those look good. Right on there. Okay, last one. Can't forget the cheese. And then to make these Vanderbilt-ish, I went to the craft store and I got black and gold tape, and I just taped it onto a toothpick. And you can do this for whatever sports team you want, and I just think this is a cute way to finish off these mini meatball sliders. And there you have it.
For dessert, I'm whipping up one of Elvis's favorites, a banana chocolate chip cupcake with a velvety smooth peanut butter frosting. To start, I've already measured out 3/4 cup of brown sugar. To this, I'm going to add 1 egg. Now we're going to whisk this all together. You want the egg to incorporate into the brown sugar until it becomes a nice pale color and a smooth, even texture. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Earlier, I melted 1 stick of butter. So we're going to whisk in the butter. One of the secret ingredients in this cupcake is actually sour cream. Now, it might sound a little bizarre to add sour cream into a cupcake, but the good thing about this is that it's actually going to make the cupcake delicious, moist, and even add a little bit of a tangy bite. So we'll put that into the batter. Perfect. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. In this bowl, I've already measured out and whisked together 1 1/3 cup of flour, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. The cinnamon is perfect for these cupcakes, especially now that it's fall time. It's going to make them nice and warm and add a little bit of a spice to it. Be careful when you're whisking this though, you don't want all the flour to come back and hit you in the face. Go nice and slow. Oh, it smells so good. You can smell the cinnamon all throughout this. Now for the fun part. I have here 3 bananas. If you decide to make this recipe last minute, it's okay. Just throw your bananas into a brown paper bag and they'll ripen up nice and fast. Now we're just going to mash up our bananas into nice big chunks. Making cupcakes is one of my favorite desserts. Back when I was in high school, I actually had a cupcake business, and I would bake a ton of cupcakes every single week and sell them to my classmates and raise money for charity. They're so easy to make for game day too, because they're handheld, not too messy, and easy to eat for everyone. All right, this is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and add this mixture into our batter over here. Just get all of that in there. Perfect. Don't be alarmed if the batter is extremely thick. Now for the finishing touch, we're going to add some mini chocolate chips. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup today. Just sprinkle all those in there. Perfect. Make sure that's distributed all throughout the batter so that everyone gets chocolate chips. Now for the cupcake tin. Here I have just one regular cupcake tin already lined with cupcake liners. And to put the batter into these, I actually like to use a cupcake scoop. This way, each cupcake has the same amount of batter and they'll all bake evenly. Now we're just going to put these cupcakes in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes or until the tops are a nice golden brown. Now we're going to make our peanut butter frosting. To start, I have already softened 1 stick of butter. It's important to make sure that your butter is soft or else you'll have chunks of cold butter all throughout your frosting. Toss that in there. And because it is peanut butter frosting, we're going to add 2/3 cup of peanut butter. All right, once that's all in there, we're gonna whip it all together so that it gets light and fluffy and gets to a nice pale color. Once your mixture is a color in between the peanut butter and the butter, you are good to go on the whipping. Now you want to make sure that you scrape down all of the sides in the bowl, or else you'll have an uneven distribution of peanut butter and butter. Now we're going to add our powdered sugar. You want to make sure that you are very slow in adding this, or else you're going to have a giant cloud of powdered sugar come back and hit you in the face. Get all of that in there. This is 4 cups of powdered sugar going into our butter and our peanut butter. And start, oh, we can see a little bit of a cloud. And we're gonna start on a low speed and just slowly increase until it's all incorporated, and then you can go to a high speed to whip it together. Now your frosting is going to look like it has a little bit of a strange texture because it's going to be ground up and a little bit fine like the powdered sugar itself. Don't worry, we're going to add some milk to this mixture and make it nice and smooth. I usually add about 1/4 cup, but you can kind of do more or less depending on the texture of your frosting. That'll go right in there. All right, now we're going to frost our cupcakes. Our cupcakes have baked and cooled. And in here, I have one piping bag. If you don't have piping bags, don't worry. You can easily use a Ziploc bag and cut off the tip of it, and it'll work just the same. Just gonna go ahead and put some of this frosting into our bag. Once all your frosting is in your bag, you can lift the sides of the bag back over the cup and pull it right out like that. You're gonna push down all the frosting, twist the top of the bag, and now comes the fun part. In here, I have a star tip, and this is gonna make our cupcakes look like they have beautiful petals. I just start on one end of the cupcake and move around in a circle. To finish off the cupcakes, we're gonna show what's inside by adding a little bit of a mini chocolate chip garnish right on top. Just take a few and sprinkle it right over. Our cupcakes are ready to go.
Thank you so much for joining us on Commodores Kitchen. We had a lot of fun sharing these game day bites with you, and we hope to see you right back with us next time. Find these recipes and more at vanderbilttelevision.com.